Hey everyone, this is the Hydra Hut. We're going to talk about Klaus. This is by Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. I think everyone's probably heard of Grant Morrison. If not, he is by far one of the top authors in comics. Then we got Dan Mora. I hadn't heard of him until I saw this book, but he's a very good artist. He did the cover, he does all the internal art, all the inking. I believe he does the coloring as well. I'll check on that. This is How Santa Claus Began. And I know that a lot of people are going to pronounce this Claus, but that's pronounced Klaus. So that's how I'm going to pronounce it. All right. One thing I want to show about this book is it's got gold edging on the paper. And I think that's pretty nifty. Also a lot of small things that are pretty cool about the book. It's by Boom Studios. Klaus. So yeah, Dan pretty much does everything other than write it. Chapter 1. So it intros with Klaus and a nice forest scene out in the snow. Get some pretty awesome art. Look at that. Look at that face. Wonderful hair and snow. I'm not gonna read most of this. I'll let you guys buy that if you want to actually read the dialogue. It's fantastic though. Great splash page for the intro. That town is Grimsvig. We're gonna go there. It's gonna be pretty interesting. So here it opens up on the town. You get a nice intro there. Some little foreshadowing over here. We're gonna see more of this guy later. The guards stop him. They're pretty hostile. They don't really want him there. He tells them that he's just here to trade some furs. It establishes that Klaus really hasn't been to this town in quite some time. So they let him in. It's for the most part pretty abandoned. People don't seem too stoked to be there. He finds a bar, a pub. Sorry, just admiring the art. He walks in, he asks for a drink. The bartender's not overly happy with him. Keeps telling him that this town's not kind to strangers. He asks about the old barkeep. Bartender says he asked too many questions, suggests that the barkeep's dead. Klaus trades him some fur for some beer. Beer's watered down. And then the town's guard shows up. Town guard immediately accosts Klaus. Start questioning him about who he is, why he's there, what his business is. He asks about the people in the town who are working in a mine, harvesting coal of all things. They're not happy. They drag him outside. You can see one of those angry guards. This is a great shot of Klaus. Look how ripped Santa is. You wouldn't want to mess with Santa. Anyway, so while they're attacking Klaus out in the street, verbally attacking him, there's a small kid, and he's playing with a little piece of coal. The guard yells at him, tells him no toys. Kids aren't allowed to have toys. Santa's like, what? Leave that boy alone. It's only a stone. A stone's not a toy. The guard, Mr. Pissy Pants here. In the hands of a child, anything can become a toy. Keep your mouth shut, Wolfman. Oh yeah, they think he's a werewolf because they hear wolves howling. So clearly, this guy's a werewolf. So the guard rips the stone away from the little kid. Santa's disgusted. He's like, I'm getting out of here, guys. You people are gross. Kid, as Santa's leaving, tries to ask him if he's a wizard. And the guard's not having that. Barney Badass here punches the little boy. Santa's not having that. We get a nice little fight scene of Santa taking on the guards. Child looks terrified. The guards beat the hell out of Santa. And the little boy runs away. That's pretty typical, I would say. So as the guards are dragging Santa outside, we get some interaction between the sergeant. And he actually seems like an okay guy. He doesn't want them to take Santa Claus out and rough him up. But then we get this guy here, who you might recognize from the wall earlier. And he tells him to go ahead and let the guards have fun. It's Yule time and all. They deserve it. So here You can see them letting him out. And then they decide to have some fun with him. So Santa's walking along through the snow. He's still chained up, doesn't have his clothes, doesn't have his furs, doesn't have anything. And they're like, yeah, what the heck? Let's go shoot this guy. And that's what they do. And Santa starts mocking him. He's pretty disgusted with them. So they come down to show him just how tough they are. He warns them. They don't believe him. So he whistles for a friend, and who shows up? Lily. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is a good wolf attack. There's fear in that man's eyes. Well, in his little white bubbles. Santa being a badass, congratulating his wolf who frees him. Who's a good girl? She is definitely a good girl. So then we jump back to the castle. Get a little bit more story here, where we meet the king's child, who of course is a little brat. Here we see him destroying a nice little toy kingdom that somebody built for him. More destruction, more temper tantrum and whining. There's a lot of emotion on that face. Look at his art. This Dan Mora guy, he's good stuff. So we come back down to here. This imposing figure. Again, I think you'll remember him from the wall earlier as we entered Grimsvig. More pissy child. So then the dad takes him in and we introduce and we meet the mom here at the dinner table. She is, of course, glowing. Creepy dude did alright for himself. Kid's complaining about his toys, Christmas in general. The mom brings up the wild man, and the dad is clearly jealous. He's not having it that she's talking about Santa, or Klaus. And tells the boy to tell mom all about his problems so that she'll stop thinking about this wild man who is being a badass out in the woods. We got some more story. After he gets his food, he's healing up, hanging out in the woods with his wolf at his house, just being a man. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to play some music. I feel pretty bad about those kids. This wolf is digging this music. You can see some magic starts to happen here with the flute. What could be going on? Apparently the flute brings forth the spirits of the north. They are pretty interesting to look at. And this is the spirit world. Santa goes into LSD mode. Do some fantastic looking work here. Look at that. Bet you didn't know Santa uses a Bowie knife. I didn't say Bowie. So he wakes up from his dream, and he's astonished to find that while he was tripping out on his flute acid, he made a whole bunch of toys. And he has no idea what he's going to do with them. Well, we're going to find out later. And here's the cover page. Pretty sweet cover, also by Dan Mora. Look at that. Lily's not white there, but still looking damn impressive. And Santa does not fuck around. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Again, this was Klaus, How Santa Claus Began by Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. Boom, Hail Hydra, baby.